Hey YouTube, Carrot Twig here, bringing you all my Koala Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile for April 2022. I would like to think that this is the deck that Chumley would have ran to the fullest in the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX series. We only really saw like a couple cards that Chumley ever used, with his love of koalas being Des Koala, and then the cards needed to make Master of Oz, which Des Kangaroo was just given to him by Jaden to make this card. So he's really just going off of the big koala plays, but there are a bunch of other koalas in total that we've gotten in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, and maybe we'll see some more koalas down the line for this deck to get even more support, maybe even a revamp of the Master of Oz card. And so let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the main deck monsters. For the koalas, we are running 3 Des Koala. With this card having a flip effect, you inflict 400 points of direct damage to your opponent for each card in their hand. So with this burn damage, very useful early on, as long as your opponent has a good number of hand cards. If they have 5 in their hand, that's 2,000 life points, and with that, 1/4 of your opponent's life points down with just this flip effect monster. It's got 1,800 defense, so it's more of the defensive type of card to use, but still great for the overall setup for all your other different koalas. And I also run 3 Sea Koala. Sea Koala is also used for a fusion for the Koala. This card needing 1 Sea Koala and 1 Tree Otter. With Sea Koala, once per turn, if you control another beast-type monster, you can reduce the attack of one monster your opponent controls to 0 until the end of this turn. So what's great about this 0 reduction is that then having cards like Master of Oz on the field, having 4,200 attack, means that you can hit for some pretty big numbers against your opponent's monster once Sea Koala has just reduced their numbers down to just 0 altogether. Even this card can hit over that card with just having 100 attack points. And for the Master of Oz play, I'm also running 3 Big Koala. It's just a vanilla normal monster, but a big part of the summon needed for summoning out your Master of Oz. So 3 copies also gives us more of a powerhouse monster to summon out if need be against our opponent, because up till now we've only really showed Des Koala and Sea Koala, which really don't have much fighting capability on their own, but that's where Big Koala definitely does come in handy. And when you make Master of Oz, just having 1,500 attack points more, or the added attack points of Des Kangaroo attached onto Big Koala makes it all the better. For other koalas that we run, I'm also running 2 Vampiric Koala. If this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent by battle with a monster, gain life points equal to the battle damage inflicted. So a real helpful card here, just for more burn damage with your Des Koala, than being able to gain life points thanks to the Vampiric Koala when it inflicts the battle damage to your opponent. Having 1,800 attack and 1,500 defense makes it more of the offensive koala compared to Des Koala, but you can see the resemblance here. It's more of if Des Koala were turned into a vampire. But I do find it funny that Vampiric Koala is the Earth attribute monster and Des Koala is the Dark attribute monster, since vampires are known to be, ones with the darkness altogether. And for the other monsters, for the Master of Oz play, I also run 2 Des Kangaroo. Now, with this card, you also have just viable targets with cards like Fusion Deployment in this deck to get cards out needed for the specific fusion plays. That's why I'm only running 2 Des Kangaroo. When the attack of a monster that attacks this monster is lower than the defense of this monster, destroy the attacking monster during damage calculation is applied normally. Just a powerhouse effect monster, but once again, most vital for the Master of Oz play. But since cards like Des Koala and Des Kangaroo are also dark attribute, they give us room for other fusions, like Starving Venom Fusion Dragon needing 2 dark monsters on the field except for tokens, or even just more setup for those plays. For more search power for the deck as well, I'm running 3 King of the Swamp. If this card is used as a substitute for any fusion material whose name specifically lists a monster, the other fusion monster must be correct, and you can discard this card to add 1 polymerization from your deck to your hand. So you can use this to substitute for any of the fusion monsters for the koalas that we are running in this deck, as long as you have the other proper one. So opening up King of the Swamp polymerization and then just 1 other monster makes it so we can go for that play. Even if you don't have Tree Otter in your hand, if you have Sea Koala and King of the Swamp, that can be your Koala play, or even vice versa. If you have your Big Koala and King of the Swamp, or Des Kangaroo and King of the Swamp, there is your summon of Master of Oz. And then for the rest of the Beast monster lineup, I also run 2 Elephant. Some of the synchros that we can make in this deck with these tuners is a big help for sure. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can select one of your level 3 or lower Beast type warrior monsters or wing Beast types that is banished and add it to your hand. Recycle power, but being a level 2 Beast tuner monster gives us room room for some other plays we can go into in this deck, especially with the summons being able to get out a good number of monsters, including combining Vampiric Koala with Elephant to then get out our Naturia Barkion onto the field. And I also run the 1 Key Mouse and the 1 Tree Otter. Tree Otter is the other card needed for summoning out Koala. It's an attack point gain kind of card. Once per turn, being able to target one face-up monster you control. It gains 1,000 attack until the end of this turn. You must control a beast-type monster other than this card to activate and resolve this effect, putting Master of Oz even up to a higher amount of attack points to swing into your opponent's monster that may have had its attack lowered, thanks to cards like Sea Koala. And then with enough burn damage, you can even just more than likely go for game with the burn damage provided by Desk Koala. And then Key Mouse is a level 1 tuner that allows us to give room for cards like Naturia Beast comboing with Vampiric Koala to at least have some spell negations along with trap negations in the deck. And that is it for the main deck monsters. We'll now move on to the spells. One of the most important spells in the deck is Polymerization. Since you use it to go into a good number of the different fusions in the deck, I thought of Super Polymerization, but they're just more difficult ways to get those monsters onto the field than to just fuse with them from your hand. So using Polymerization over Super Polymerization, you do have the option for taking your opponent's dark attributes for cards like Starving Venom, but the main play of this deck is to get out our Koala monsters. So I'm fine with the 3 Polymerization along with the 2 Fusion Recycling Plant and the 1 Terraforming. Not only can it help us to recycle the monsters we used for our fusion plays, but also just being able to add Polymerization that much more quickly if we need to save the King of the Swamp in our hand for us to use with our fusions. If you didn't want to run the Fusion Recycling Plant engine and you're fine with the next card that I reveal, you can also make room for Defusion in this deck, taking out the 3 lineup here for 3 Defusion, because when you get out cards like Master of Oz, you can swing with those cards and then defuse into cards like Big Koala and Desk Kangaroo. And if you had your Sea Koala lower the attack of your opponent's monster, the 4,200 damage plus the 4,200 from these 2 monsters might be enough for game right then and there. And the other fusion support that I run the 3 fusion deployments. You reveal 1 fusion monster in your extra deck and special summon 1 from your hand or deck, one of the fusion materials whose name is listed specifically on that card. Also, you cannot special summon from your extra deck except fusion monsters the turn you activate this effect. So this is just the easiest way to summon out a Big Koala to the field, revealing Master of Oz, giving you a 2,700 attack point monster on the field. Even if you don't have the Polymerization to fuse into Master of Oz, just being able to get out a 2,700 attack point monster can get over a good majority of different cards your opponent may try to use against you. And for more of the beast monster protection, I also run 2 Closed Forest. All beast monsters you control gain 100 attack for each monster in your graveyard. Field spells cannot be activated, and field spell cards cannot be activated during the turn this card is destroyed. It's more a lockdown card for the deck, and another reason why I would justify Defusion over the Fusion Recycling Plant lineup, just because you do have 1 field spell already to get rid of Closed Forest for a Fusion Recycling Plant. Can help for the fusion play, but then it takes out some of your other boost power for your beast monsters for the fact that Closed Forest just raises their attack that much more easily. But I also like the continuous spell, Spiritual Force, which I am running 2 of. Each turn, the first face-up beast, beast warrior, or plant monster that would be destroyed is not. So another protection continuous spell, along with the power of your Closed Forest, and the best way to just keep your Master of Oz safe on the field. And also, I run 2 Ayers Rock Sunrise. If you wanted to only run 2 Defusion by taking out the Fusion Recycling Plant lineup, you can keep 2 Defusion for the 2 there, and then put in a 3rd copy of Ayers Rock Sunrise. The only reason I only run 2 of this card, though, is because you have much more targets available with Monster Reborn, which I also run 1 of, to finish off the spell lineup, with Ayers Rock Sunrise just being able to special summon a Beast-type monster from your graveyard, but also being able to make your opponent's monsters lose 200 attack for each Beast monster in your graveyard makes this all the stronger, because then when you summon out your Master of Oz, you can have your opponent's monster already have their lowered attack without even having your Sea Koala on the field to use to do so. And then as for the traps, more powering up are Koala monsters. 3 Horn of the Phantom Beast. You target a beast or beast warrior monster you control. Equip this card to that target. It gains 800 attack. And the equipped monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard. You draw 1 card. This just gives Master of Oz or Koala more options for, draw effects and powering up these monsters. They already have some pretty high attack, making it all the more powerful with cards like Horn of the Phantom Beast is what you have to be afraid of going up against your opponent, because putting Master of Oz at the total of 5,000 attack means it's almost impossible. It can go up against monsters like Dragon Master Knight and Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon and come out victorious most of the time. And I also run, lastly, one Berserk King, a continuous trap once per turn during your main phase or your opponent's battle phase. You can select 2 face-up beast monsters on the field. Until the end of this turn, one of the selected monsters loses half of its attack and the other one gains it. Another power boost card, but if you don't want to run this card, you can always have this be the spot to put in a third Ayers Rock Sunrise and keep the fusion deployment lineup in the deck as it is. And that is it for the main deck. We'll now move on to the extra deck for our Koala fusion monsters. I run one Master of Oz and one Koala, with Koala needing Sea Koala and Tree Otter, and Master of Oz needing Big Koala and Desk Kangaroo. The one is a 4,200 attack point beater, and the other one, you can send one beast-type monster from your hand to the graveyard to target one monster your opponent controls and destroy it. This is not a once-per-turn monster effect, meaning you can just wipe out your opponent's whole field. With this fusion on the field, having 2,800 attack makes it very, very scary to go up against your opponent with, and with cards like Horn of the Fan Beast, just making it that much more stronger. For other fusions, I also run the one Starving Venom Fusion Dragon and the one First of the Dragons. You run the normal monster Big Koala, so if you just open up plenty of Big Koala, you can make First of the Dragons another untouchable fusion monster on the field, and Starving Venom with the different dark attribute monsters we run in the deck. If you happen to get 2 of them on the field, that can be the fusion you go into with this card. And for the Link monsters, probably one of the important ones is Vert Anaconda, just another option for our polymerization fusion play using this card, and our monsters we run in the deck, along with one Cross Sheep, one Drumadal for the Beasts lineup option, Nightmare Cerberus, and Apollosa to finish off the Link monsters that we can summon out, and at least either clear our opponent's field or benefit with cards like Cross Sheep, summoning out fusion monsters, or any of the Synchro or Xyz monsters we run in the deck. And for the Synchros, I run the one Naturia Barkion, the one Naturia Beast, the one Leo Keeper of the Sacred Tree, and the one Borreload Savage Dragon to go with the other Link monsters we make to equip onto it for the additional monster negates. And for the Xyz monsters, I rarely go into the Xyz monsters, but having one Diamond Dire Wolf for more destruction of my opponent's cards, and one Ronin Raccoon Sandayu to give me more beast options on the field always do come in handy if I need cards to make either with the level 4 Vampiric Koalas that I run, the Desk Kangaroos, or even the Sea Koalas to overlay into the Ronin Raccoon Sandayu. As for some of the go-to plays in the deck, a lot of it comes down to what you open up with for the fusion results. If you open up fusion deployment, then you can gain access to any of the other cards if you have the polymerization and one of the other particular cards in your deck. I only run the one Tree Otter, once again, but having a target for fusion deployment makes it more of a viable card to special summon out, and I just like Sea Koala more for its consistency of lowering my opponent's monster's attack, because then you can summon out your Sea Koala from your hand, having another beast-type monster, then being able to lower your opponent's monster. If you don't have the polymerization, you can at least use Tree Otter to bump up the attack of Sea Koala and deal for a bit of damage there over that one monster. But if you do have the polymerization, it makes it all the better, because being able to lower your opponent's monster attack thanks to the Sea Koala you just summoned out, going into your fusion play, which is the Koala, and then you'll have your opponent's monster with 0 attack, and then you can use this effect to then send another beast-type monster from your hand to the graveyard to then destroy another monster your opponent may control. If the beast monster you sent was one like Big Koala, and you have cards like Air Rock Sunrise in your hand, you can just then target that beast monster and special summon it right back onto the field to swing into your opponent with. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I always liked making koalas. Chumley was definitely an interesting character with the GX series. I do like the direction they took with him, making him more of an artist than a duelist, but the koalas definitely had some power behind them that definitely shouldn't have been overlooked. A lot of the games that he did play in, he came very close to winning, and I think he just needed some more koala support to definitely give him that victory. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.